This was a gut-wrenching loss on the scoreboard, but looking around the stadium tonight, something has fundamentally changed for this franchise. The dark ages are officially over, and if you aren't absolutely terrified of what Bryce Young just became before our very eyes, you simply haven't been paying attention. This wasn't just a playoff exit, it was the birth of a legitimate contender. If you believe this team is finally rising from the ashes, smash that like button, share this with a fellow fan, and subscribe right now so we can ride this wave all the way to next season together. We need to have a serious heart-to-heart today. Consider this a therapy session for all of us. I know the final score hurts. Losing 34-31 to the Los Angeles Rams, a team many people have pegged to lift the Lombardi Trophy, is a tough pill to swallow. But we have to look past the box score. We have to look at what this game signifies for the next decade of Carolina football. For the first time in 10 years, we didn't just belong on the field, we looked like we belonged in the heavyweights corner. Think about the atmosphere. Did you feel that energy? It has been a decade since we hosted a playoff game at the bank, celebrating the anniversary of that magical 2015 run, and the vibes were immaculate. For years, we've been the team looking in from the outside while other cities threw playoff parties. We were the kids not invited to the cool table. But today, we kicked the door down. The tailgates were packed, the music was bumping, and seeing Cam Newton back in the mix, literally larger than life in that jacket, set the tone. When Cam is in the building, standing alongside legends like Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis, it reminds you of what excellence looks like. The noise level inside the stadium was deafening. It looked like a riot in the stands. That sea of black and processed blue is intimidating when the fans are locked in. But let's be real, the game didn't start perfectly. There was a moment there where it felt like the stage might be too big for us. We saw those rookie jitters, those "we haven't been here before" mistakes. You saw Jalen Coker stop on that route, a rookie mistake that led to a tipped interception. You saw Chuba Hubbard, who has been a rock for US, drop a routine flat pass with nothing but green grass in front of him. You saw the punt returner misjudge the wind and take the ball off the face mask. Those are the errors that usually lead to a blowout. When we went down 14-0, it could have easily spiraled into a 30-point disaster. But here is where everything changed. Here is where the narrative flipped. Does anyone else feel like we watched a boy become a king in the pocket tonight? Because after those early blunders, the offense didn't crumble. They got gritty. Bryce Young, specifically, found another gear. He played with a level of maturity and aggression we haven't seen consistently until now. He was climbing the pocket, navigating around a makeshift offensive line with Robert Hunt playing on one arm, and delivering strikes. He threw for over 260 yards, but it was the way he did it. The defining moment, the play that I think we will be replaying all off-season, was that 3rd and 10 late in the game. With Cam Newton watching, Bryce didn't force a throw. He tucked the ball, dead-legged a defender in the open field, and lowered his shoulder into 3 Rams defenders at the goal line to get the score. He popped right back up like he was made of twisted steel. That wasn't just a touchdown, that was a statement. He went toe-to-toe with Matthew Stafford, an MVP-caliber quarterback, and for large stretches of the second half, Bryce was the best player on the field. And let's talk about the weapons. We have to give flowers to Jalen Coker. After that early drop, the coaching staff could have benched him. Instead, they fed him. He solidified himself as WR2 today, making clutch catches and hauling in a beautiful over-the-shoulder rainbow from Bryce to give us the lead. And of course, Tataroa McMillan, T-Mac, continues to be a superstar in the making. Seeing him and Bryce celebrate, seeing the defense do the Superman celebration in the end zone, it felt like the swagger is finally back. However, we can't ignore the elephant in the room. The roster still has holes, and this game exposed them in the most painful way possible. We received devastating news about Ike Ekwonu. A significant knee injury is going to keep him out for a long time, possibly all of next season. That changes our entire draft strategy. We might have to trade up or use significant capital to find a franchise left tackle, because you cannot leave Bryce unprotected on the blind side. And then there is the defense. So here is the big debate we need to settle right now, with the defense crumbling late. Do you blame the defensive coordinator's scheme for playing too soft, or is it purely a lack of pass rush personnel? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, because this is the controversial talking point of the day. For 3.5 quarters, the defense fought hard. Mike Jackson has been a revelation, playing with more fire and consistency than J.C. Horn recently. Jackson is becoming the vocal leader this secondary needs. But when it mattered most, when we were up 31-27 and just needed one stop, we broke. The bend but don't break philosophy works until you're playing a quarterback like Stafford who will surgically dissect you if you give him time. And he had all day. We have zero edge pressure. This offseason, the priority has to be finding a closer. We need a Myles Garrett, a Max Crosby, someone who can wreck a game in the fourth quarter. You cannot win a Super Bowl without a pass rush. We saw their receivers catching chunk plays in front of us, marching down the field, and eventually, the size mismatch on the tight end and Puka Nacua just overpowered us. It wasn't a referee job, it wasn't a rigged game. We just ran out of gas and ran out of talent on the defensive front. But despite the heartbreak, despite the defense unable to hold that final lead, I am leaving this game feeling incredibly optimistic. We went from being the laughing stock of the league to going 12 rounds with a Super Bowl favorite. We have our quarterback. Bryce Young is the guy. Pay him, pick up his 5th-year option, and build the castle around him. Looking ahead to the draft, the strategy is clear. We need a left tackle to replace Ekwonu, and we need playmakers. Whether it's grabbing a dynamic tight end like the Kenyan Sadiq prospect everyone is mocking to us, or trading for a proven edge rusher, the front office has a blueprint now. We aren't guessing anymore. We know what we have, and we know what we need. To everyone who stuck with this team through the lean years, through the coaching changes and the losing seasons, stand up and be proud today. You did your job. The fans in that stadium were relentless. You created an environment that players want to play in. There are kids who watched this game tonight who are going to be Panthers fans for life because of the passion they saw on that field. This loss stings, but it's the kind of loss that fuels a championship run next year. We aren't sneaking up on anyone anymore. Next season, the expectations change. We aren't just hoping to compete, we are coming for the NFC South crown, and we are coming for a deep playoff run. So keep your heads up. The foundation is set. The quarterback is real. The culture is changing. We are building something special in Carolina, and I cannot wait to see what happens next. Keep pounding.